Hey ratbags, this last week I've been showing off a bootleg rip-off version of Raft available on Xbox. If you know, I've been covering Raft a long time in terms of news and when it's going to be coming to console. That got announced last year, apart from a few screenshots. We heard nothing since and no one knows when it's actually going to release. So despite the obvious maybe shenanigans going on with a rip-off, I figure, you know what, let's give it the benefit of the doubt and try this new Xbox game, Survive on Raft, and see if it can, even if it is a rip-off, maybe give a bit of space while we wait for the real thing. It's like 16 quid, so probably like 20 bucks. Is it worth your time? No, please just do not buy this game. It starts off with a pretty horrendous plane crash where apparently your son just gets lost to the sky. No explanation of whether or not you're meant to be trying to find him, and as you can see, pretty tragic circumstances. Let's just assume he's dead. So the story might not be the best or most important thing anyway, even if you've played the original Raft. What's the actual gameplay like? The original Raft went into early access in 2018 after having a demo appear in 2016 that pretty much made everyone go, wow, we want to play this. Literally, this game appeared on Steam in 2019 and nothing really has much changed or been added. It got ported over to mobile and yes, the gameplay is bare bones basic Raft. You have got a small raft, you can expand it by laying down platforms, you can build bases on top, all the while trying to hook in crates, barrels and some of these weeds. While you do that, you'll have a big shark trying to eat your face off at various different times and you get a little warning telling you he's about to appear, so get your spear ready. Now at first, despite its dodgy custom creator settings, I was kind of hopeful. Even though it was obviously not as good looking in terms of the art style, it certainly felt okay. I played it, it didn't seem too bad in terms of the controls. And more or less repeating exactly the same steps as Raft as you get basic resources together to craft some benches like a cookout and then make a water container so you can cook your water so you've got fresh water. Spend too long in the water and you will pretty much get eaten straight away. It does seem a bit more punishing than the original Raft. I do remember a couple times being able to get away at least a bit from the shark and swim a little bit, but as soon as you step in the water in this game, that's it. You're pretty much dead unless you've got some sort of bait. It's got fishing so you can get a good supply of food. There'll be things like airplanes that appear overhead which you can shoot supply signals at, or big massive cargo ships which will do the same, giving you special crates filled with more important resources or just simply more food. So far, so good in all honesty, but it became quite a grind. You need weeds for absolutely everything and the amount of weeds you need to make rope is just simply ridiculous. You eventually get the ability to have a brand new anchor that you can drop down, but you've got no way of really utilizing it until you get a kayak. And then you can't use the kayak until you go ahead and get some coordinates from a merchant that appears. And this is where it starts to vary very differently from the original Raft. In that game, you just came across different islands. You would piece together the technology to make a radio transmitter, and this would lead you to some certain better locations that had definitely really good, nice points of interest. That might be the case in here, but instead of actually just getting that technology together yourself, you have to wait until you come across a trader. And this is where the game becomes unbuyable and unplayable. I can maybe just about forgive the endless grind for weeds to get that rope to craft absolutely everything. But what you're meant to do is, once this trader appears very infrequently, go and signal to him by prompting, looking at him, and it should give you a prompt to press a button, and then he'll come over and you can basically go and buy a bunch of the stuff that you need to progress so you can unlock new technology. At the moment, you unlock stuff via just crafting and gathering certain resources, and that will basically unlock the more normal stuff. So you can get crop plots, you can get a big cookout, you'll get better weapons eventually. But it kind of just stops still. Until you get to this trader, you can't explore any of the islands that are in this game. There apparently are 7 islands to explore in this procedure generated game that will have much more interesting stuff. I streamed this twice, and over both streams I just could not get the trader to function properly, or it was very difficult. You only got a small amount of time when he appears, literally like 25 seconds, 30 seconds, and yeah, if you don't have your first slot empty, you won't be able to go ahead and basically talk to him or wave at him and get it working. And I couldn't get it working even when I did have the right things going on. And from all accounts, everyone's been telling me that the trader is kind of busted and broken. It won't necessarily allow you to progress certain places afterwards, and it's just really, maybe not worth your time. For 20 bucks, there are a million different games you can buy on Xbox that you'll have much more fun with while you wait for the real thing. Obviously, like I said, I want to give this the benefit of the doubt. I know that the original Raft has been long, as I said, been critical that they've not really been doing much info. And so, yeah, if someone's going to release a game that's very similar first and early, then why not give it a shot? But it's so bare bones, it's so basic. They've got some sort of slot system where you're meant to earn shells, and these can be used to buy and unlock new cosmetic items as well as maybe decor. This looks to be what was maybe added to the mobile port so that people could spend money to customize their character even more. But apart from that, there is just nothing really interesting here. Even in the original Raft, I sometimes got a bit bored because it was only the shark you really had to worry about and maybe diving down a bit too deep, until they added a lot more creatures to some of the islands. Apparently there might be more creatures on some of these islands we come across, but it's going to take you literally hours and hours to unlock and find some of the stuff. You get the chance to grow a lot of crops, and so you're thinking maybe I can make some nice recipes of food and stuff, but nope, all of it is just used to sell to basically get the shells that you can maybe go ahead and trade with a trader. Again, from what I've heard from other people, because I spent literally like 8 hours playing this game and hadn't come across or managed to trigger the trader event. You do come across wrecks of other rafts that appear nearby. They're super hard to get because you've got to use a bait, maybe even 2 pieces of bait to go there once and then come back. And they often don't have that much great loot, like 1 or 2 items maybe. I really did think this was progression when I had my kayak going. I thought now I'd be able to sail across the different islands, but you need the coordinates from the trader and it's pretty tough to get. I know a lot of you guys have been telling me now how to get the waybills. It is from the trader, and if you've managed to trigger it or it gets to work, brilliant. But I don't think it's fun waiting literally an hour in game for a trader to appear and then only having 30 seconds for that to be right so that you can try and trigger being able to talk to it. That is not a fun mechanic, and I don't recommend anyone play a game that has these types of mechanics in it. If it was like the original Raft where you could build a transceiver and find locations yourself, I'd be more open to it. But the fact is, you've got to wait around literally in-game days for an event to happen just for the chance to progress, and that is a poor mechanic. For that same money, if you haven't somehow already tried or played it, you can buy Valheim. It's a bit old and it's quite clunky, but you still get a lot more enjoyment out of it by buying Stranded Deep. Other games like Green Hell really go on sale quite a lot. Hopefully you get my idea. Go and try Grounded, maybe even Lightyear Frontier, a bit more of a cozy farming sim. All of these games are going to be infinitely worth your 20 bucks and more importantly your time. I really had hoped this would fill the void until Raft really came out. I'm trying to find more games that Xbox fans like because I know so many of you are here from my Grounded videos. The only good thing it's got on it is that maybe it's multiplayer, but a lot of people are having problems with the multiplayer actually working. And it's just not fun. There's barely any music, only a few times. There's no real events that change. You can't even see the floor moving underneath you, it's static. The water and world is just uninteresting. And it simply takes way too long and too much effort that's not explained to go ahead and explore maybe more of the game. So please, wait for the original Raft. I'll be there with news about it when it does hit and I'll show it all off for you. I might even do a run on PC at the moment to keep you guys busy. But yeah, don't waste your time or your money on this game just yet.